Paramore has made their grand return with the single This Is Why. And a lot of people are feeling like maybe this sounds a little too much like Hayley Williams' solo record, Petals for Armor. Let's get into it and talk about that. This is Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
So, I agree. I think that it does sound like that.
It does. It's definitely very, it's funny because she had a like self-produced, more like ballady album, breakup album in between, but
Oh, interesting.
yeah, that was Flowers for Vases.
That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about that one.
Which you should not, because it's amazing.
Okay.
But I actually hadn't listened to Petals for Armor in a while, and this single came out, and I thought, okay, yeah, because it's the same. There's the guy from her band. I'm so bad with band member names, but
That's okay. I'm usually good with them.
yeah. So it's produced. The Petals for Armor was produced by one of her bandmates.
By one of the guys from Paramore.
Yeah.
And I think he was very involved with bringing that highly produced, sort of the groovy, percussion-driven vibe of Petals for Armor, and that's what I love about that record so much.
Yeah, I earlier today, I was going back and listening through. So when Petals for Armor originally came out, it was released as 2 EPs.
That's right. That's kind of erased from history.
Because I saved, like I liked Petals for Armor Part 1, I still have it in my Spotify.
As the first EP?
Like Petals for Armor is 1. And
Okay.
you can't, it's not on Spotify anymore.
Yeah.
It's like hidden. So I feel weirdly, for some reason, cool. But I actually just like really prefer the first EP to the second one.
Same.
And so I kind of never listened to the full album. I just listened. It goes like for the first 5 songs, I think. And so I listened to This Is Why. Again, I'd listened to it for a few times. I do like This Is Why personally.
Okay.
But especially vocally, it really reminded me of Petals for Armor. So I went back and listened to a few songs, and it's like so good.
I really like it.
So good.
Love Petals for Armor. I think what's linking the Petals for Armor sound to this new Paramore sound is that groovy, jazzy, pristinely performed percussion. This is, take a track like Cinnamon from Petals for Armor or Simmer. Some of the coolest drumming I've heard in a while in that genre.
It really, and even for someone like me who doesn't necessarily always notice that stuff, especially when you have headphones on, you're just like, oh, what's the drumming doing here?
Yeah, it's
like,
very...
what's the percussion?
It almost seems scattered. A lot of ghost notes going on. It's pretty jazzy but funky. And I really enjoy the sort of dry production on the drums. And that's kind of carried over into this new sound. But I'm also hearing I'm totally hearing Talking Heads.
Mm-hmm. So they've said that the main influences for this new album coming out is Radiohead and Block Party. But this was also the last song they recorded. So
I heard that,
have this feeling that this is basically she said the album was done and one of the bandmates was like, you should work on this idea. So it's very possible that this is quite different, which makes it a strange choice for a first single, if that's true.
That's a good point. And it also reeks of what I'm getting from them right now, which is a band that's doing whatever they want, which is always cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So on the verses of This Is Why, you really get a similar vocal performance, what she's doing on Petals for Armor, which is really different from earlier Paramore stuff. And to me has some St. Vincent vibes, especially Cinnamon. To me, it's like this could be a St. Vincent song in the best possible way.
Something off like Strange Mercy or Self-Titled.
Yeah. And then you come to the chorus and it's then the other band members are also singing in the chorus. So it's really weird juxtaposition. They almost sound like they shouldn't be in the same song together.
They seem a little high in the mix to me, but I think they're going for that burning down the house chorus.
Right.
The Talking Heads song. And, it even has the word house. It really reminds me of that, and overall just the vibe from the Stop Making Sense movie or that time of the band.
Yeah. So I think it's a fun song. I've listened to it a few times. it's not going above any of those songs off Petals for Armor for me, but I think it's kind of a cool way to come back. Like you said, it's like, what are they even doing? Like, this is kind of cool.
The press shot, kind of one of the only images we saw before the single came out, was that weird shot of them like pressed up against glass, and it looks sort of like, desaturated,
like
not very
out,
colorful. Yeah. And I was just watching their live set they did recently at I think Austin City Limits, and yeah, you can feel that coming off of them. We're a band that's back, but doing it the way we want. We're doing whatever we want. It was their choice to play Misery Business again. It's their choice to put out a song like this. I'm not sure what label they're signed to for this upcoming record, but clearly this label seems very hands-off and is like, do your thing.
I personally feel like Hayley probably gained a lot of confidence. So Petals for Armor was like 2020 and Flowers for Vases, I think 2021. And so she was doing these like solo projects, clearly the first one was a lot more collaborative and so experimental that it seems like she's kind of coming to this point where, they experimented for sure with After Laughter, but personally I don't feel like the songs really fully came together on that album. And she's got confidence and she's got a new skill set as a songwriter.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up After Laughter, because as much as people are saying, oh, it sounds like Petals for Armor, it does sort of sound like an extension of After Laughter too, but with that added confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd listened to After Laughter when it came out. I wasn't that into it, and a lot of people really like it, so I went back to it recently, and it almost just seems unfinished to me, like unfleshed out.
It's almost like they never went away. And, say if After Laughter was sort of them evolving into that sound, then this is them like really getting a grasp on it. Yeah, I totally see that in the trajectory. It's pretty clear. So if people are unhappy that, hey, this doesn't sound like the pop punk Paramore, well, if you follow the band's trajectory, it kind of, even if they didn't break up, it's like, this kind of seems like it would come next naturally. I'm excited to hear this Block Party Radiohead influence, though. I want to hear more songs.
I know. I'm very curious, like, how it plays out. Sometimes bands say that, and then it was like when Billie Eilish was like, I'm super into the Strokes. And, like, you definitely hear it, but it's, like, very differently executed.
Yeah, Billy Bossa Nova is a total Strokes song.
Yeah. You can just hear Julian singing it.
So that's our thoughts on Paramore's return and this whole, it sounds too much like the Hayley Williams solo stuff thing. It kind of reminds me of when Tom York first did a solo record in 2005 with The Eraser. There's a lot of talk of like, well, why isn't it just Radiohead? And, you look at the credits of that album, it's got Johnny Greenwood on there. I think it maybe has some Ed O'Brien on there. It's not such a black and white thing always. And, maybe they started working on a next Hayley Williams thing, and it sort of naturally became like, hey, I think this is Paramore. I think Paramore can come back, and we can put this out under that name, and it feels right. It's not always so like black and white, and sometimes side projects and the main band, it can sort of be a gray area that's ever shifting.
Right.
And so, now the official members of Paramore are the people who made Petals for Armor, plus like the other guy, right?
Yeah, I guess. Despite having watched that video about their whole band history, I don't remember like any of the people.
So this all makes total sense to me. I am excited to see what comes next.
I am super excited. Even if it doesn't like quite live up to what I think it could be, I'm still excited about just something different, a progression that seems like a forward step instead of just like some like half done. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean. It's just like something that they're trying, but that didn't really hit it.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like a forced return.
Right.
It seems very intentional and confident. Love to see it. Excited for more. What did you think of the new Paramore single? What do you want to hear from this record? I personally would love to hear like a pop punk banger as like the centerpiece of the album, maybe. Or just little touches of it throughout. You know, I do want to hear that history of the band, that part of the band like represented. And I have a feeling we'll get it.
Okay, well, I guess we'll find out. When does it come out? In like next year?
It comes, yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, it's coming out way later than I would have thought. I would think it's coming out soon, and I always forget, oh yeah, this is kind of a ways off. But anyway, we'll talk about it when it comes out. Maybe we'll talk about the next single, so stick around. Thanks for watching. This is Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
Bye.